Hi, Miss April.
Oh, hey, Billy. What have you been up to?
I went noodling yesterday.
I bet Beulah really enjoyed that.
No, Miss April, Beulah didn't go with us. She would never do that.
Oh, I just thought that since she loves spaghetti so much that she wouldn't want to miss getting to eat some noodles.
It ain't got nothing to do with spaghetti noodles, Miss April. I'm talking about the noodling that's in the water.
Oh, yes, of course. You're talking about pool noodles. The long things made out of foam that help people stay afloat in a swimming pool.
No, Miss April, it ain't that either.
What is it then?
It's hand fishing.
Hand fishing?
Oh, I keep forgetting that you're from up north. It's when you get in the river and you reach into any holes you find and hopefully a big old catfish latches onto your arm.
Oh my goodness. Billy, that sounds really dangerous.
Oh, it is. Instead of a catfish, sometimes there's something else in the hole, like a snapping turtle or a water moccasin or a gator. You just don't ever know what you're gonna get.
Oh goodness. Billy, you shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, I just stand on the riverbank and hand the net to my Uncle Skeeter. He's the one reaching into the holes. My mama says you gotta be a little off in the head to use your own arm as bait. That definitely describes my Uncle Skeeter.
Well, it seems ridiculously dangerous. I'm glad to hear that you're not doing it. Billy, did you know that there was someone in the Bible who was swallowed by a fish?
What? Was he noodling?
No, and it just wasn't his arm that was swallowed, it was all of him.
That must have been the biggest flathead catfish ever.
Well, it wasn't in a freshwater river, so it definitely wasn't a flathead catfish.
Well, if he wasn't noodling, how did he get swallowed up?
He got thrown off the ship he was on by the ship's crew members.
Okay, this is getting more and more interesting. It kind of feels like you skipped a whole big bunch of stuff, Miss April. Can you back up to the beginning?
Sure.
I mean, who was he? Why was he on the boat? And why did he get thrown off the boat?
The man's name was Jonah, and he was a prophet from a small town in northern Israel. Do you remember what a prophet is?
Yes, it's when you make money rather than lose it. You know the bake sale our church had a few weeks ago? When my mama was making stuff for it, she kept telling me, "If you don't stop eating all the cookies, we won't make a profit."
Okay, that's a homonym.
What's a homonym?
A homonym. That's when two words sound the same but have different meanings. And they're spelled differently too. The prophet you're describing is spelled P-R-O-F-I-T.
Oh, how's the other one spelled?
P-R-O-P-H-E-T. This is a person who gets a message from God and then tells others the message. Jonah was a prophet.
What kind of messages did he get from God?
The Bible only tells us about two of them. The first one was a message for Jeroboam, the king of the northern kingdom of Israel, letting him know that he should reclaim some of the land that had been taken by their enemies.
What was the other message?
That's the one that got Jonah into so much trouble. God told him to go to the city of Nineveh and tell them that he was going to destroy their city.
Why?
Because they were extremely wicked and sinful. Another prophet named Nahum described it as a city full of lies and robbery that was never without victims.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a good place to be walking around at night.
It wasn't a safe place to be in the daytime.
Was Jonah safe when he went there and told everybody the bad news?
Well, he didn't go.
Wait a minute. Jonah disobeyed God?
Yep. Instead of going to Nineveh, he went to a city named Joppa and boarded a ship that was going in the opposite direction.
Oh, I've seen commercials for cruise ships. They've got swimming pools on them with big old slides and go-kart racing on board and so much food it looks like Mama's house on Thanksgiving. Although I bet they don't have cornbread stuffing.
Well, Billy, there weren't any luxury cruise ships back in Bible times. Jonah was on a cargo ship.
Cargo? Are you sure there wasn't no go-kart racing?
I'm sure. Cargo is anything that people want to move from one place to another, usually so they can sell it. In Bible times, it was things like metals, special wood, and spices.
Oh.
So the ship set sail for Tarshish, which was as far away from Nineveh as Jonah could get.
Did he make them mad?
Did he make who mad?
Did Jonah make the guys sailing the ship mad at him? Is that why they threw him off the boat?
No. In fact, they didn't want to throw him off the ship, but we're jumping ahead.
Sorry, Miss April. What happened after they set out for
Tarshish. Next, God sent a strong wind and storm where the ship was located. The crew members were afraid the ship was going to break apart, and they began throwing the cargo overboard.
Why'd they do that?
To lighten the load. With a bunch of stuff on the ship, it would be low in the water like this. But without the cargo, then it wouldn't be as heavy and it could float better.
Did they accidentally throw Jonah off when they were throwing off the cargo?
No.
Well, if the guys who sailed all the time were so scared, Jonah must have been terrified.
Nope, he was down in the bottom of the boat, sound asleep.
Oh, he must sleep like my little brother, Booger Ray. My mama can take him out of his car seat, carry him in the house, put his PJs on him, and brush his teeth without him ever waking up.
Wow, that's some sound sleeping, all right.
Miss April, are you sure Jonah didn't accidentally get thrown off the ship? Seems like if he could sleep through that big old storm, then he could have been curled up inside some of that cargo that was thrown overboard.
No, Jonah was awake and told the crew members to throw him off the ship.
What? Start back where you left off. The ship's crew was lightening the load by throwing off the cargo.
Yes, and they each began crying out to their gods, except they were praying to idols, not the one true God. Finally, the ship's captain found Jonah asleep and woke him up. He wanted him to pray to his God.
Oh, Jonah's God was the real God.
Right. Jonah told them that the God he worshipped was the one who had made the sea and dry land, and that he had disobeyed God. This made the ship's crew really afraid. That's when Jonah told them to throw him overboard because he was the reason for the storm.
So they threw him overboard.
Not at first. They tried to row the boat to the shore, but the storm was too strong and getting worse and worse. Finally, they prayed and asked God to not hold them responsible for Jonah's life, and they picked him up and threw him in the sea. Immediately, the storm stopped.
What?
When all the men on the ship saw this, they realized that Jonah's God was the only real God, and they believed in him.
What happened next?
The Lord had prepared a large sea creature who came and swallowed Jonah.
Oh, wow. So that's how he got swallowed. That's a real good lesson about not disobeying God. Thanks for telling me the story, Miss April.
Well, that's not the end of the story, Billy.
Wait, what? But he done got swallowed up.
Yes, but Jonah prayed to the Lord from inside the sea creature, and after he was in there for 3 days and 3 nights, God spoke to the fish and it spit Jonah onto dry land.
He was alive?
Yes, and once again, God told him to go to Nineveh.
Oh, I bet he went this time.
He sure did. Nineveh was such a large city, it took 3 days to go through the whole thing. As he went through it, Jonah announced that in 40 days the city would be overthrown.
Overthrown? Like when you throw a baseball too hard and it sails over your teammate's head and then everybody's mad at you for losing the game? Not that that's ever happened. More than twice.
This kind of overthrown means that they would be captured by their enemies or destroyed in some way.
Oh, they must have beat him up when they heard Jonah saying that.
No, surprisingly, they all believed him and repented. They put on sackcloth, which was a very rough, uncomfortable material that people would wear when they were really sad and they didn't eat. When the king heard the message, he also put on sackcloth and sat in ashes.
Ashes like from a weenie roast?
Well, ashes from a fire. That's another thing that people in Bible times would do to show how sad they were. No one ate or drank anything, and they all cried out to God to forgive them. And most importantly, they stopped doing evil things.
Oh, that must have made Jonah so happy. His preaching worked.
No. Jonah was very unhappy.
Why? All the people were doing good now.
Yep, but Jonah wanted them to be destroyed. which is why he had not wanted to go to Nineveh in the first place. Nineveh was the capital city of Assyria, and they were Israel's #1 enemy. He knew that if people repented, that God would have mercy on them. Do you know what mercy is, Billy?
Oh, I sure do. It's happened to us a couple of times.
Oh, what?
Our baseball team, you know, when they stop the game early because the other team has a whole big bunch more runs and you can't possibly catch up to them.
Oh, the mercy rule.
Right.
Well, mercy from God is when He forgives and doesn't punish someone, even though they deserve it. The Bible says that God's love never ends and His mercies are new every morning.
Oh, that sounds like it's good. But what exactly does it mean?
It means that God offers us an endless supply of forgiveness and compassion if we repent and ask for forgiveness. God is a God of second chances.
Oh, that's like my teacher. If you fail a test, she lets you study and take it again. I took one math test 17 times before I finally got a 70 on it. Did the Assyrians get a second chance?
Yes. After Jonah finished going through Nineveh delivering God's message, he went out of the city and made himself a shelter to watch what would happen.
What happened?
Nothing. Since the people had repented, God had forgiven them. This made Jonah very angry.
But hadn't Jonah just been given a second chance when the sea critter threw him up on the beach?
Yes, exactly. But he forgot all about that. He was angry that God had forgiven the Ninevites. He told God that the reason he hadn't wanted to go to Nineveh was because he knew that God was slow to get angry and was overflowing with love.
I'd have brought that big old fish back to get him.
Well, instead, God taught him another lesson by making a big leafy vine grow up overnight that provided shade for Jonah. This made Jonah extremely happy because it had been very hot and sunny.
Oh, it must have been a kudzu vine. Those things grow so fast and they just take over everything.
Well, the very next morning, God sent a worm to eat the plant so that it shriveled up. This made Jonah really angry. God showed Jonah how he cared more about a vine that had lived for only 1 day than he did for the 120,000 innocent children who lived in the city of Nineveh, plus all the animals that would have also suffered if the city had been destroyed.
Oh, that must have made Jonah realize how wrong he was.
Probably. The story in the Bible ends with God asking Jonah about all the children and animals in Nineveh and if he thought God should be concerned about them.
Well, I'm sure glad God gives second chances.
Yes, and that he's slow to get angry and is overflowing with love and mercy.
I can't wait to tell my Uncle Skeeter about how somebody in the Bible got completely swallowed by a fish. He ain't gonna believe it. Where you reckon I could find this story if I wanted to prove it to him?
Oh, well, it should be easy to remember. It's in the book of Jonah.
Oh, that is easy. I've seen that book in there before, but I never knew it had such a good story in it.
Well, keep coming back, Billy. The Bible is filled with great stories, and I'll tell you some more of them.
All right. I ain't a very good reader, but I'm going to go try to read some more about Jonah, Miss April.
Great. Bye, Billy.
Bye, Miss April.